same thing over and over and over and over and over and over again, just spinning the same news cycles, spinning around, and you're getting tired of the same old message. Well, the September real estate numbers for Toronto are in, and we're going to talk about it on the other side of the intro. Well, welcome back, my friends. And yes, the September numbers are in for the Toronto Real Estate Board. We're going to look at them. But before we do that, huge shout out to everyone that's been reaching out to me. Thank you. There's the dancing gear over here. There it is. And there's been a lot of questions about the market, and this is an opportunity to buy. What are we seeing with prices and lots of coffees and lots of phone calls. So shout out to everyone that's been doing that. I really, really appreciate it. It's a lot of fun to connect with everybody. And I don't know if you've been noticing, but excuse me, if you've been noticing, I've been posting a lot of short videos, so go check those out. And also Gary Talks Real Estate. That's a podcast that I just launched. Go check that out on your favorite podcast player, or also here right on YouTube. Okay, so September numbers are in. What's the deal? Is it what we've been saying? Is it what we've been forecasting and predicting? Are we just saying the same thing over and over again? The market's coming down and the bank interest rates are going up. Yes to all the above. But that's okay, because this is why we watch videos like this. We want to be well informed, and there should be no surprises in the reports. And of course, the report that I have here, you can always download in the links below. Download them and look at the week. So we also do the weekly report, but this one's going to be a little bit different because we're doing the month of September for Toronto. And if you are in a different area than Toronto, because I get it, many of the viewers are in a different area, you want something a little bit more specific, like York region or Mississauga, or something really, really narrow, let me know. Even if you're out watching in a different city or province, let me know. I can get you those numbers and we can walk through them together. Okay, so the numbers, they going up? They going down? Well, if you've been watching, they should be going up, down-ish. However, there's some interesting information that's coming out of these numbers today, and it should be no surprise because we've been calling it like it is and walking you through it almost on a weekly basis as well as on a monthly basis. And a good seller and a good buyer is an educated seller and buyer. So let's go educate ourselves together, my friends. All right, so let's just share the screen. Here we go. So this is the monthly report for September for the Toronto Real Estate Board. Again, you can get this market report in the show notes below. And we're going to skip through this first couple of pages and get into some of the good stuff. But you can see it all right here. The percent changes year over year from September of 2021 to September of 2022. And all the information's right here. The video's done. There you go. But let's dig in a little bit deeper and see what's going on here. Okay, so here we go. Let's look at new listings. We'll look at new listings month over month and then year to date, because both of those numbers are of interest to us. And you can see new listings are up 7%. Last year they were up 7%, and then I'm not even showing you the right area here. So here is the number right here: 7% in 2019, and a huge number in 2020. And then, of course, it clawed back a little bit in 2021, and then it's even come back a little bit farther in 2022. And if you're visual like me, you like looking at the colors. Red is going to be 2021. Gray for this report is this year, 2022. And you can see the number of listings is down versus last year. Almost, I think, every month on the board here, dating back to April, it's been down. So that should be of no surprise to us. That's the number of new listings per month compared to the previous year. Year to date, we're down approximately 8% of new listings. So again, we've been talking about this, and it should be of no surprise to us. But that is to the month of September. And then scrolling a little bit farther down, this is the average asking price. So not the average sale price, the average asking price. And that's gone up a little bit, but slightly. Like back in April, we were at 1.25 million. You could see here. And let me just get my little squiggly line here. Here we go, right here. Nope, I don't know what happened there. We'll get it. Don't worry. Don't you worry. We'll get it. We'll get it. So right here, 125 to this month, and we're at 135. That says as I write over it, and again, that's the asking price. And if you've been following along and playing along with us, sellers and agents are getting in line with what that sales strategy looks like and asking fair market value and not underpricing homes. So there we are there. Okay, scrolling down, average asking price year to date. Well, much of the same there. So we'll continue on with that. Sold properties. Okay, so this is the one that we need to focus in on. We need to focus in on this. So you can see year over year change. Year over year change is down 50% on that month of September, 49%. That's a huge difference. Now, Gare, how many properties were sold? Well, that's the big question that we need to look at. So you can see here, September. So last year we had approximately 3,600 properties sell. This year we've had 1,800 properties sell in Toronto. Now, of course, if you added Peel region, York region, Durham region, all the other areas, that's a lot more. We're just focusing on the area of Toronto here as a reference point. And you can see this number's gone down, and you can see that line pretty average down every month since April, and in fact since March. So the market is definitely pulling back. We're going to see the year-to-date numbers next, and you can see that year-to-date right here is at minus 31%. So what does that tell us? Well, that tells us that, of course, there's a lot less buyers out there, and it is perhaps getting, as we know and have experienced, a little bit more difficult to purchase homes with the current lending environment. And you can see these numbers are all up and down. This right here, this chart right here, we could probably overlay that over the last number of years, and you can see the numbers right here, meaning we're kind of, it goes up and down, it goes up and down, but the shape of this chart down here is what I want to point out. This is similar. You can almost slap this shape on, careful how I say all those words, on every year. And it's gonna adjust slightly, of course, but we always have a little bit of a boom beginning of the year, as you can see here. So here's our years here, just like this, and it goes all over the place. But as in a normalized year, outside of COVID and things like that, we have a slight boom. I shouldn't use the word a slight increase. That's a better word, Gare. A slight increase in January, and it tails off a little bit, tails off. And then what happens in late March, early April, typically we have our spring market. So it comes up a little bit, and it might drop ever so slightly towards the end of May into June, and then a little surge again towards the end of the month, down into the August month, and then back up again in middle of September, October, down a little bit, and just a slight uptick. I'm talking ever so slight in December. That's our real estate market. That's our real estate cycle every year. We'll call it a normalized year, and we are going to get back to that. So watch out for that. Okay, scrolling down, average sale price. So this is for the month, and you can see here we're at 1.09. And what does that look like compared to last year? Well, right here, last year we're at 1.13. And if you've been listening, I said we're going to have that tipping point where things cross over, and our prices from last year are going to be more than they are this year. September, we said, was going to be the month, and you can watch along in my other videos to see exactly when that happened. And we predicted probably the third to fourth week, and it happened earlier in the third week of September. Excuse me. Okay, so moving down, the average sale price year to date, well, 1.18. So we were at, we're $9,000 difference of what that looks like here. So right in line with what's going on. And you can see over the last several years. So this is interesting, my friends. So here's our average sale price for and dating back to January of 2020, pre-COVID slightly. You can see that number as at 912, and now we're at 1.09. So you might say, you might think to yourself, well, the numbers are down so much. Well, year over year, they're down ever so slightly. But look at this trend right here. This is really interesting. For the last 2 years, that's a terrible line. That's not the line that I want. I got to look over here. We're at 912 and we are right here. So you take all those roller coasters out, and that's a decent increase. That's a 10% increase, thereabouts. It'll be a little bit more, probably about a 12% increase over the last 2 years, 2.5 years, we should say 2+ years, 2 3/4, if I'm going to be accurate for those that like the accuracy of everything. Uh, that's not bad. So what does that say? That's about 3%, 3.5% per year, lower than typically what we like. We like about 5%, 4.5 to 5% appreciation every year, but dating back to 2020. And remember, as I always say in all of my videos, when in doubt, zoom out. And this is an example of that, of zooming out. So that's a good way to look at it. Days on market. Well, we can see, and then this is to be expected. When the market slows down a little bit, we're going to see days on market increase. I've been saying that perhaps towards the middle of October, end of October, we're going to be reaching that 45 days. And right now, for the month of September, we sat at 23. So that's to say, basically 3 weeks plus 2 days. Your listing would be on the market. Or another way to say that, if no other listings came on the market, it would take about 3+ weeks to have everything sold out. That's another way to look at it. Good stuff. Okay, scrolling down, year to date. Well, that's going to be in line with what we just talked about. But year to date numbers on days on market is what I'm trying to say. I would look at the specific time frame as opposed to year to date numbers for days on market. Average ask to sell ratio, we're sitting at 99%, which is accurate with what we've been seeing in the market, obviously, which is to say you list your home for $1 million, you're going to get $990,000. That's what this data tells us. Now, you've got to list at market value in order to get that 100% of asking price, right? That's where a good agent comes in and analyzes the properties around you, and you and the seller come up with a great sales strategy to get that number. Year to date, it's going to be a little bit higher because we had a strong early part of the year, right? So that's why that number is a little bit higher. Very good. So that's the market report. Here, I wanted to show you something else as well. So just give me a second to set that up. And this next slide that I'm going to show you, or the information I'm going to show you, is new listings versus solds. And we are seeing a lot of new listings out there on the market. And what I want to share with you is the opportunity as buyers that we're seeing right now. And this is why it's incredibly important. If you're a seller, incredibly important to get your pricing right. So what are we looking at here, Gare? Well, the green is new listings for the last 3 months, and the red is the number of sold properties the last 3 months. And what do you see here? Well, earlier in July, you can see a number of new listings on the market. And that's kind of dipped down a little bit. And towards August, of course, we talked about that, up a little bit. And of course, as we hit mid-September, the number of listings are up dramatically compared to the number of sold properties. We've been sitting at about 450, we'll call it, to 500 properties or less selling every month in Toronto. What the discrepancy is the number of new listings. So we're sitting at 1,100 listings, almost 1,200 listings right now, and we're seeing that sales number drop. This is an opportunity, my friends, if you are buyers. If you're a buyer's agent out there, show this chart to your clients. If you're a seller, a listing agent out there, so show this chart, if I could spit it out, to your clients. Why? Because we all need to be on the same page. And if they're thinking their property is worth $1 million, and perhaps there's 10 others or 15 others at $1 million, how are you going to stand out from the crowd? And of course, we've got to get our pricing in line, and perhaps it's going to be overpriced at $1 million. You don't want to be pricing to be on the market. You want to be pricing to be in and ahead of the market. And this is a great chart to look at because of the number of listings versus the number of solds. And it'll be interesting to pull out the first week excuse me, the first week numbers in October to see how things are adding up here. So that I'm shooting this on Thursday, October 6th, and it'll be interesting to see how that first week unveils here. Coffee time. Always got to have coffee during these videos. Very good. Very good. So that's kind of it. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of news about interest rates, and I sent out an email to my client base the other day with about, I think it was a 9 or possibly 10 properties where the sellers would entertain a vendor take back mortgage or a form of financing themselves. Now, it wasn't in the Toronto area. It was up in the Grey Bruce area where my agent partner operates out of. One of the largest teams in Keller Williams operates out of there. So we're starting to see sellers think differently and provide their own opportunity to attract buyers. So if that's something of interest to you, let me know. Reach out to me in the comments and message me. Happy to. Here, let's do this one. There we go. Reach out to me and I'll make sure you get that information as always. And as always, thanks for watching. Go check out my podcast and the YouTube shorts, everything else. We'll see everybody on the next video. Bye for now.